share some insight with you all this evening. So, as you all came to know, I'm a Buddhist priest from Sri Lanka. So, I always enjoy this kind of sharing of our insight, our understanding, our spirituality with others. So today we have this opportunity to share our experience and to get to know something new. Maybe you can refresh your knowledge if you already know about Buddhism, the Buddhist practice, and meditation. So in the end, if you have any questions, we can have an interesting discussion. So our topic today is about meditation and how to apply meditation in our daily life. So this meditation is not a new thing. So we all know about meditation. We always hear about it, especially nowadays many people are looking into that. Many people want to try meditation, which is very interesting to see that many people are looking for some sort of spirituality that they think it is something greatly missing in this society. The spirituality is a very important aspect to our life, which can bring a very good understanding, very much peace and harmony into our life. So that's why people want to practice this spirituality in many different ways. I think the most interesting way of practicing or applying this spirituality here in this society is going to a yoga class or practice some movements, exercise like that. But this meditation practice has a very deep meaning to it. This is what we are going to learn today. This is what we are going to listen to. So in that explanation, I would like to take this opportunity to explain what this meditation is all about, and what are the different types of meditation, and how to apply these techniques into our daily life, and what are the benefits of practicing meditation. So, in every religion, in any society, they have different forms of meditation practices in different ways. They use different mantras, chanting, many visualizations, repetitions, different objects to focus on. So the basic idea of these different types of meditation are the same. Basically what they want to experience is the peace, the relaxation. So this is what they are mainly focusing on. It is something we all need in our day-to-day life. It is greatly missing in this very hectic life, very busy life. No matter where you are, what you do, we all need that inner peace and harmony. So in all these basic meditations, we can experience that level in different levels, the inner peace and harmony. But when we look into this meditation according to the Buddhist understanding, the Buddhist way of meditation, it has a broad meaning. It has a very deep aspect to it. So we will focus on these different areas of meditation in this practice. First thing I would like to explain this spirituality, this meditation practice, how we apply very easily into our life in this very simple experience, that we all have a very common relationship, a very good connection with this simple piece of technology. That is what we call the computer. The computer is a very common thing that you cannot imagine the world without a computer today, right? Without a computer, you cannot do anything. We will be in a big trouble if we don't have a computer. So it is that much connected to our life in many ways, in so many ways. So therefore we need to learn how to use a computer, how to maintain a computer, how to get the best use of this piece of technology. So after all, this magnificent piece of technology is a creation of human. So they have created this. It is something that has gone too far, very far beyond human capacity, right? Within all these computations and giving accurate informations, predictions, analysis, and all these things. We cannot even imagine how it works. It is magnificent. So the beauty of that is it's a creation of man, right? So this is something unique we see in the world with any creation, any marvelous thing that people create. Eventually, it's nothing but a reflection of mankind, because it is created by the human. So therefore, we can see this functioning, these qualities of these things are already within ourselves, within our life. So how do we understand that point? That reminds me a very simple story, story time. In a very small classroom, grade 2. In this classroom, the teacher asked a question from the students, these little kids. The question was, what is the biggest thing in the world? The teacher asked, what is the biggest thing in the world? So you know how these little kids normally answer these kind of questions. So teacher could hear many answers from different corners of the classroom. So one by one, gave the answer with many ideas. So someone said, a rock is the biggest thing in the world. So someone said, the Mount Everest. Nowadays, these little kids know many things. They are crazy. And some people said, the ocean is the biggest thing. And someone said, my dad. That kid, the daddy is the biggest thing for him. So he said, my dad. So someone sitting at a corner gave a very interesting answer. This little girl said, my eye. My eye is the biggest thing. Wow, what was that? The teacher couldn't understand it in the first place. So she asked, why did you say it is your eye? Well, how come it is the biggest thing in the world? There are many things out there. So she said, it doesn't matter, teacher. No matter it is the Mount Everest, the ocean, the sun and the moon, everything can fit in here. Right? You see everything from your eye, so everything can fit in there. So therefore my eye is the biggest thing. So teacher was speechless. That's true. That's indeed. So it has a very deep meaning. This simple little message that the human mind, so that little kid, is still not correct. Because the human mind can perceive many things that this naked eye cannot see. That we cannot touch these physical things with our normal senses. So therefore, the mind goes beyond all these things. The galaxies, the Milky Ways, every single phenomenon in the universe. This mind can perceive these things. Mind can understand and feel all these things. What is happening around us, what is in the world, what is in the universe. Therefore, mind is the biggest thing. The consciousness is the biggest thing in this universe. So we can have an idea, even a feeling or a sensation about the entire universe. So the mind or the consciousness has no limit in that sense. So therefore, the creation of this computer also has some features that we all have already within ourselves. It's very simple, very basic. In the computer, we know, even though we see many functioning, many activities as we use it, as we utilize it in different purposes, we see different pictures, graphics, and many things, many programs. But eventually, what computer understands is just a signals. There are many programs called as languages, computer languages. The computer knows only these languages. So when you go beyond that programs, eventually the computer reads only the zeros and ones. We call them the binary codes, right? The computer eventually knows these ultimate level. But the outer reaction we see as graphics and many things. Okay, so this is the first thing we see in a computer. So the human experience, in our life experience also, it is the same. Even though we see all these physical things around us, people, trees, the sun and the moon, and these lights, beautiful things around us. Even though we label all these different things, and that is also the same what happens inside ourselves. It is nothing but the signals. What does it mean? Even though we understand many things through our senses, okay, from the moment all these waves or the signals enter through our senses, the eyes, nose, ear, tongue, the body, the skin, to this body limit, from that moment we are dealing with the signals, right? Exactly, this is what happens to us. We are dealing with the signals. We are interpreting the signals. The brain reads only the signals. And from our mind, we interpret these things, what they mean to us. We interpret. So therefore, from that moment actually, from the moment that they enter our psychophysical entity, we all are living in a spiritual world. Nothing to do with this external world. Eventually what we are dealing with, what we are experiencing, these signals, how they interpret. They change our entire system, our body, the chemical reactions, the hormones, And everything is stimulated because of these signals. So we experience different levels of experiences in that process. So it is very interesting to understand that happening. It's very interesting to me that when we realize that nature in our life, we don't really bother about things outside. Because eventually all these things are happening inside us. To understand this point very easily, suppose that there's someone you love, okay, that you really care about, that you really love this person. Why do you exactly think you love that person? If you think about it for a moment, there's a certain thing happening to you when you are in front of that person. When you are in front of that person, you experience some physical change in yourself. You feel some thrilling experience in your system, in your body, in your nerve system. So you like that feeling. You like that sensation it creates when you see that person. Right? That is the thing you really like. That's the thing you exactly loving, not that person. Do you understand the point? It is same with everything. Suppose something you eat, you really love, you crave for. You don't really like the apple or the cake, but you like the sensation it creates in yourself. It's a very deep point to understand. It's very subtle and very simple. So we can clearly see that how we are struggling with the external world without having this understanding, right? We get into many trouble fighting with these external things, having not been able to understand that inner happening, what we really like, what is exactly happening to us in this process. Therefore, it is very interesting to understand how these things are happening to us. What is exactly happening between this body and mind. Okay. So that is the story about the signals in so many different levels, so many different ways. So when you use a computer, you can see that there are inputs and outputs, right? So we can enter many information, and they will give us back the result, whatever you want from the computer. So in our experience also it is the same. We have many different senses as input, right? We absorb many things from the outside world, and we experience many things, and we react to them according to these experiences. So many reactions to these absorptions from external world as outputs, our reaction as the results. So we can clearly see that part. And sometimes now the most interesting thing in the computer is that they have come up with very cooling softwares that and also sometimes they have increased the speed of the processor. The processing speed is very crazy today. It has very high levels of functioning. So in our system also, this body-mind story, we also have these different types of functioning systems, different types of softwares. We have to install them within our systems. To run it smoothly, to work and function it very efficiently. We need that in our day-to-day life, in order to experience the peace and harmony, and to find our success in our life. Okay, so therefore we can see that happening between the computer and in our life. So with this meditation practice, we can increase that the functioning speed, between our body and mind, how these both are interacting, and how to pay our attention to according to the things that we do in our life, right? So it really increases our functioning, and accurately we can apply that to our activities. And that is called the RAM, or the random access memory. So if we don't have enough power, enough capacity to run many programs at a time, we cannot really get what we need today, because we are living in a very hectic, very competitive society. So we need to be able to do many things at a time, at the same time, to find our success. So this spiritual practice, this meditation practice, actually gives us this the unique ability, the unique skill to do many things at a time without messing up. That is the interesting thing. Therefore, we can see that happening, and this is where we really apply the meditation. We see that when we use a computer, sometimes we encounter problems that when we run many programs at one time, this computer gets stuck, right? The computer cannot function properly. Sometimes